The prophecy stated that if man did not turn from evil and place himself at the feet of God, the planet would self-destruct and the events described in the book of Revelations would indeed come to pass.
In 1983, the infrared astronomical satellite IRAS detected heat from an object about 50 billion miles away. That they found an object of 4 to 8 Earth masses on a highly tilted orbit beyond 7 billion miles from the Sun. It is returning to pass through the core of our solar system, which explains our recent solar violence, global warming, and ongoing Earth changes.
Build a vast network of underground cities and tunnels in which a select representation of all cultures and occupations would survive and carry on the human race. The rest of humanity would be left to fend for themselves on the surface of the planet. Exploit the alien and conventional technology in order for a select few to leave the Earth and establish colonies in outer space. It was decided, since the population must be reduced and controlled, that it would be in the best interest of the human race to rid ourselves of the undesirable elements of our society.
So, how does the ADS work? It transmits a narrow beam of energy at the speed of light. When the beam reaches its human target, it penetrates the skin by 1/64th of an inch. That's about the thickness of 3 sheets of paper. Within seconds, the target feels an intense heating sensation. That burning only stops when the transmitter shuts off or when it moves out of the beam.
There's a lot of water in your body. Your body's mostly made up of water. And the energy interacts with the water molecules and causes them to vibrate and heat up. And that heating and vibration activates your nerve ending, and that sends a message to your brain that you need to do something to stop the heating. And the instinctive thing to do is to move.
Inside the fenced area on the other side of the building, you'll see signs that say Red Zone, right up next to the railroad tracks that run the length of the fenced area. Next to the Red Zone sign, you can see closely numbered markers on the fences that are too closely spaced to be parking markers, just as if they plan to have people line up to board the trains. Here's a helicopter marker on the power lines outside the facility, indicating expected helicopter traffic, and again, another tall radio antenna. Looking around, you can get an idea of how huge this place is and how many people it could contain in its fenced-in area. In yet another fenced area, we see a large warehouse building at the end, with the electronic turnstiles in front of it. The building is one that has a new concrete floor, and its doors and windows have all been blocked. Outside, there are new gas pipes. Even as we were filming, a black helicopter flew over us, observing what we were doing, which has happened many times when we have been at the facility. The gas lines and gas pipes at the facility run the length of the buildings and come out at some very, very large, brand new furnaces that have been installed at the buildings throughout the facility. We found this crane, which has seen better days, but is plainly marked U.S. Army in the middle of the stockyard. We found other fully working military trucks and equipment here at other times. Inside the facility, we found large fenced-in areas next to the railroad tracks marked Green Zone and Blue Zone, suitable for holding a lot of people. Many of the old warehouse buildings have had new concrete floors put into them. Unused sections of railroad track have been dug up and replaced, and from the supplies in the stockyards, it is obvious they will be doing even more construction and fencing. Senator Lugar of Indiana recently obtained more federal funding to renovate this facility, which is supposedly only for the repair of broken trains and where most of the buildings on the property haven't been used for years. It certainly appears they are expecting more than just broken trains. This tower, overlooking the entire facility at one end of the facility along the railroad tracks, also has a radio antenna on it with a ladder up inside of it. It would make an excellent watchtower.
As our expiration date grew nearer, governments might collapse and the money they back might become worthless. And society would have to discover a new set of rules.
I think as we get closer, as that sand of time runs out of the hourglass, it'll be much harder to enforce the rules and to continue the behavior that we had up to that time.
How would you behave if you knew the date of your death? Would you go to work, pay your bills, mow your lawn? As the final days approached, would our lives descend into chaos, or would we band together and look for something more?
Place himself